Imagine this. It's the start of 2026, and at the end of your first week back at work, you've already received a flood of emails and phone calls and messages from people who want you to come and appraise their property, from buyers who are ready to look at opportunities, and also from landlords who want you to walk them through a strategy to help them create more value in their portfolio in 2026. This can be your reality if you take just 1 hour to create it before the end of the year. This is episode 251 of Commercial Real Estate Leadership. My name is Darren Krakowiak. Welcome to another episode of the show, our final episode for 2025. Really appreciate you joining us. And today I've got something which is a process that I've shared with my clients and members, and I want to share with you as well for joining us for this last episode of the year. It is called the New Year Stack of Leads. And what we're trying to do with this process is, rather than waiting for momentum to build throughout 2026, which can take weeks or even months because it just takes time for momentum to build, we manufacture momentum by taking a few steps now to just craft some email drafts that you put in your outbox. They sit there over the holiday period, and then the first day back in 2026, you then launch those emails like a series of missiles. They fire off, and then something amazing happens. People start replying to these emails. They start calling you up. They get in contact with you for reasons that you want them to, because you've taken the time to think about what is a thoughtful message that I can send to people at the start of the year, which creates activity and builds momentum. So it's called the New Year Stack of Leads because we do it at the start of the year. And the reason why we send the email in the first place is to wish people Happy New Year, right? So we start off with Happy New Year. And when you receive a message that says Happy New Year, it's kind of rude if you don't reply Happy New Year to that person, right? And we all received them probably up until the end of January. So we use that Happy New Year opportunity. That's the trigger that exists to start a conversation, but it's also a Trojan horse. The Happy New Year is the Trojan horse that then allows us to pivot to what it is that we actually want to talk about, which is going to help us build momentum starting off the new year. So it could be about appraising their property. It could be about providing a proposal to list their property. It could be about reviewing a proposal that we previously provided to list their property. It could be to analyze their portfolio. It could be that we need to actually review the strategy with an existing client. Maybe there's a listing that's been gathering dust and it's getting a bit stale, and we want to just start a fresh conversation in 2026 about how we can create some more activity on that listing. There are so many reasons why you might want to get someone in a conversation at the start of the year. And I believe the best way to open that conversation is just by saying Happy New Year and then talking about the thing that you want to talk about. Now, this is a little bit different to what we were talking about in episode 248, where we talked about making sure that you have new campaigns ready to launch, and they're ones where you've actually signed the listing agreement before Christmas and you've locked in the marketing commencement campaign launch date, probably for, if you're in Australia, the 27th of January. This is different to lining up meetings with people that have said that, hey, let's talk in the new year, and actually book in the meeting in the new year. This is different to, although it's related to the review of your CRM that I recommended in that episode, because when you review your CRM, you're going to uncover opportunities that exist for you to open up new conversations with people. So this is all about starting new conversations in the new year, because when you get back and you start the new year, sometimes we're a little bit kind of like, I don't know, where we're not quite active yet, right? We've still got sand in our shoes. Maybe we've forgotten the password. You need your password to execute the New Year Stack of Leads, by the way. But you do a little bit of work now. You write some of those emails now, and then they're ready to go. Like I said, like a series of missiles, you launch them off when you get back to work, and then all this activity starts coming back to you. So just a couple of other things about the mechanics of this. We don't just send the email with the Happy New Year and then the thing we want to talk about and then wait for something to happen. We probably need to be following up, right? We've talked about cadences, which is the tempo or rhythm at which we actually outreach people, not just once, but we actually have a rhythm at which we follow up people through different channels over a period of time. And for this one, I'd kind of recommend that you send the New Year message via email, and then maybe a week later, we call them up, we leave a voicemail, and then we send another email. And then perhaps a few days later, we also send a text, and maybe finally after that, we call up one more time and leave a voicemail. So we've had about 7 touch points at that point, and we are really trying to elicit a response from all of these different touch points to get people into the conversation that we want to have with them. So if you're feeling like now is a little bit too late in the year to be prospecting, and maybe there's an argument to say that it is, instead of prospecting, this is something that you can do to lay the foundations for more momentum at the start of 2026. You are prospecting, but you're just not actually hitting send yet. So we're creating a first week where you've got opportunities that will be waiting for you as a result of the groundwork that you've laid now. And if you're a commercial real estate principal, rather than doing a prospecting power hour before everyone breaks up for the holiday break, you can recommend that everyone spend an hour to identify the opportunities and to start drafting a few of these emails. So when they come back, there's all these opportunities that they can start working on immediately. So that's the New Year stack of leads. Give it a go. If you're looking for something to do before the end of the year, this is something that you can do that your future self, that version of you that comes back to work in the first week of January and is not really feeling motivated to do too much, when your phone's ringing, when you've got emails from prospects, when you're receiving messages from people who want to do business with you, that'll be something that really helps you get moving in 2026. Now, just to let you know, this is the last episode of the year for the podcast. We are coming back in 2026, and I've got a special series of episodes to start the new year with. We're going to be doing some themes around, firstly, momentum and mindset to start 2026. We'll then be moving into a series of episodes on pipeline, prospecting, and production power. I've got a great series of episodes for you on leadership, leverage, and agency growth. And finally, I've got a series of episodes for you on tools, productivity, and modern commercial real estate execution. Now, this special series of episodes is being created using the ultimate leverage by reusing some podcast episodes from our vault of 251 episodes. And I haven't just sort of searched the name like momentum and mindset and found 4 episodes to put together. I've used the power of the podcast platforms which provide really rich data around listener habits like Apple Podcasts and Spotify. They provide stats around like how many times has an episode been re-listened to by the same person and how long does the episode retain a listener for, and that tells you that it's a quality episode. So I've looked for the best episodes to reuse, to recycle, and to represent to you at the start of 2026 under those 4 categories. So that's what's coming to you at the start of 2026. We're going to have the first episode for you ready to go on the 14th of January. So we're just taking 3 weeks off and we're back on the 14th of January with that series of episodes for you. I do want to take this opportunity to say, I hope you have a great Christmas and all the best for the new year. And since it is our final episode of the year, a few quick thank yous. First of all, thank you to my clients, my private clients, commercial real estate principals, and also to various organizations who have invited me to speak at their events in 2025. I want to thank the members that we have at CRE Success inside Agent Accelerator. So we have clients, we have members, and then we've also got customers. Customers are people who do things like register for workshops that we hosted throughout the year. So thank you to you as well. Thank you to our listeners and to our viewers on various platforms like YouTube, and we've grown on YouTube this year, and we've also grown in terms of podcast downloads, particularly in the past few weeks. There's been a little bit of a spike. So if you're one of those new listeners or viewers, I do say thank you, and thank you to everyone else in our wider network. 2025 was an interesting year. I know a lot of people have found this year hard. Really great to see so many of my clients and members outperform the market in terms of in this business. And I look at my business in terms of the performance on a calendar year basis. Sometimes I'm looking at it on a financial year basis. And I also look at it the year to date through to the 31st of March, because the business started in April 2020. And I can tell you that this year's growth, we've grown the business once again. And a little metrics that I like to track is when throughout the year did we pass the threshold of the previous full year's revenue. And for this year, it was on the 2nd of December. So on the 2nd of December, we had already produced more revenue in this year, calendar year, than we did for all of 2024. So that's, I guess, a good thing that we're still growing. So thank you for your support. One way that your support helps others is that Cresuccess has made a $2,500 donation to the Fred Hollows Foundation, who of course do excellent work in restoring sight for people from, I guess, developing countries, right? And also for people from disadvantaged communities. So that's one way that your support of this podcast is making a difference to somebody else. That is our episode for today. Thank you so much for listening. I will see you in 2026.